these external manifestations are actually showing a projection of our internal reality, because there's a lot of structures that we're burning down on the inside of us in order to rebuild, thinking about what Ken and I say all the time about collapsing and refilling. And this is why this third dimension is so crazy cool when you can see it from the higher dimension. Kingdoms rise and kingdoms will fall, and all of this upheaval that is constantly transforming because of where we are at in our transformation process. So this is just also part of it. Rousing ourselves awake is the first part of the process, because we were all put in a tardime, a deep slumber, a trance-like state as we were walking around. And in order for us to do any work, we have to be roused awake to the dual system. And I think probably every single one of us here can point back to a day and a time where you were roused awake to the dual system. And I remember living in ignorance. Oh my gosh, I was so bubble wrapped. Yes, I had a lot of trauma when I was a kid, but I was living in bubble wrap, like the bubble boy, and, totally constricted and not able to see things that were in plain sight because I wasn't ready to be roused awake. I'm going to bring this back to the Song of Solomon because I think this is a good segue. Don't awaken love before it's time. Well, part of that is trying to comprehend of what love we're talking about. What kind of love? What are we not supposed to be rousing awake before it's time? And in the word, in looking at words, this is inculcation. I'm just doing a reminder because I feel like this is Ruka Dakusha sharing this. That first phase of Mother's teaching is to rouse us awake to good and evil, to that tree. It's like we need to know in the dual system that there is the right-hand path to be taken. And there's others that choose that left hand first, but that right-hand path that is establishing the Zadik, the righteousness, the Zadi, the hunt and the chase, because that puts us on the path of righteousness, which is that spiritual gravity that is continuing to move us up and out of the lower dimensions. Super important. If you have no idea what the tree of duality is, how can you do the comparisons? It's impossible. You got to see it running. And then you realize it's you, of course. But that comes into that more mature state when we get into the inner man. So that outer man, rousing awake to all the conspiracies, the good and the evil, all those rabbit holes, and some of us spent way too long down those. Right here, folks. Way too long, like a whole decade, and it just about literally killed me because of my vitamin B crashes. That was just a horrible season of tumultuous seas. I learned a whole lot though. And some of it was shocking and horrifying. And then, looking on the other side, backside, I'm like, we are so fantastic about the stuff we create. Oh my gosh, these scenarios, these are like, Hollywood's got nothing on what we've done. Like, they're just showing us little bits and pieces. But really, my gosh, we're the best of the best and the worst of the worst. We're the greatest and we're the most awful. How incredible is that? Speaking from the other side of it. So then when we get to the inner man, of course, that's when we start excavating that dual side that is within us. So dual side outside, dual side inside. And then we get to the sacred chamber where we get to unify it all. So those three phases is what the Song of Solomon is trying to really relay to us. All of that in our maturation.